So now we know, Councillor Crossley, Entry Hill, no more golf, a bike park.
Well, we're calling it a family cycle centre, but it's going to have more than just cycling around it. The natural lay of Entry Hill leads you to downhill cycle routes, and there's going to be a variety of different skill levels. It'll need very little land movement or change to the topography to do it. And we will have about 8 downhill routes, one of which will be what's called a blue route, which is available for young children on pedal-assisted bikes.
Now, this is
that will be the paid.
Okay, this is obviously going to upset all of those who wanted golf to continue at Entry Hill.
Yeah.
People who were saying that those that were supporting the bike trail didn't even live in the area.
Well, the golfers also came from a wide area. These facilities are used by people from wide areas. So it's, where do you join the word local? 50% of the respondents we got were from very local postcodes. And we've discounted in our analysis all of those that from outside Bath and North East Somerset. So you can see exactly what the response is from Bath and North East Somerset, as well as you can see the total response from people everywhere. So the respondents from outside the council area have not really influenced or changed the outcome of the consultation. So we put out a tender, and once you go into an ODU tender, it sort of rolls on remorselessly. And part of the process is that when you've awarded it, you then have a 10-day standstill, in which period of time the losers can challenge you, and it does seem to be very secretive, but I'm afraid that's the way the government set up the rules when it did it 20 years ago. So what we've got.
Are you able to tell us whether any of the other tenders involved golf? I mean, why did you in the end go for this one?
We had 5 successful tenders, or that were warranted analysis and real thought and interrogation and exploration with the bidders. One of which was for a golf tender. But what we were looking for was stated very clearly. We wanted activity levels raised across the whole of the piece. We're an obese and aging nation, so we need to get people more active, more often, in more ways. We wanted to have a good response to the climate and biological and ecological emergencies that we're facing. And we wanted to make sure that there was no public subsidy in the long run. So, when someone's investing a lot of capital, we can wait for them to recuperate that before they start paying back. So they were the 3 factors that we were looking for: end of public subsidy, end of chemical use on the place so that we get nature and biodiversity back, and an activity that got lots of people active. Golf is a very good sport, has a very wide demographic, but there are also a large number of golf courses in the area, providing all sort of level of abilities, all level of membership, all level of day services.
So you think cycling keeps you fitter than golf?
Well, I don't play golf. I've played golf. I've played a few rounds of golf, but I'm not very good at it. And I'm not a very good cyclist either. I just pootle along very slowly.
Are you in this?
As you know, when I've cycled alongside you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I can vouch for the fact that you do appear on a bicycle from time to time. Now, look, have you also upset Avon Wildlife Trust and the Forest of the Imagination, because they wanted the place reimagined as a nature park? Will there be any room for...
So what we will get with the cycle park is a lot more nature in there. There's going to be a wildlife pond at the bottom. There's going to be allotments. There's going to be a disabled-friendly route all the way around, so that people on disability bikes and tri-bikes can have an easy cycle ride around. Plus, they can cut across the middle if it's too far to go all the way around. but there's going to be a lot of biodiversity put in with the cycle route, because obviously they don't need wide mown fairways. So we will be getting that. We had a very interesting bid from Avon Wildlife Trust, and perhaps, you know, that we can look to work with them in partnership in other locations for some of their ideas. But we had, you know, we had 5 bids, and with the OJU process, the debate comes before the process, because that's when you set your scoring system, and that was done at the cabinet meeting last summer.
While we're talking about wildlife, can I just mention, you probably know this, there was another petition started just recently by local historian and author Kirsten Elliott, who was suggesting that up at the approach course, where we have this sort of pause, this resting period, she was saying some of the golf bunkers could be turned into wildlife ponds. Is that something that maybe the Parks Department could look at?
Right. I've heard a lot of stuff about approach course over the last few weeks, and there were a lot of, how shall I put it politely, there were a lot of stories that bore very little resemblance to the truth. But I've not heard yet, and I meet Kirsten quite often, but I've not heard about her ponds. That's absolutely brand new to me, live as we speak.
She had an active. She had an active petition online, Paul. If she is watching this, as I'm sure she will, maybe the best thing she can do is make contact with you.
Yeah. So we've got a pause on approach, and I think that's what the residents around want. They want to reflect. It's been quite a fiery, stormy few weeks with the while we considered the outcome of the tender process there, where we only got one tender.
Yeah.
And the person who was looking to put golf in pulled out at the last moment. So that is a slightly different matter. But at Entry Hill we had 5, which are, which I was very pleased about, that we got 5 good tenders that warranted interrogation.
Those living around the High Common, the approach course, are very happy with the outcome at the moment. What about the residents of Entry Hill? How do you think they're going to react to the news?
Well, I think, again, there's been a lot of misreporting about what's involved put forward, and we are now we were putting out a letter to all the residents from the winning company, explaining about how they want to engage with residents on the design and the location of it. One of the things that is clearly wanted, though, is a good cafe, and part of their bid is to have a good cafe. And in fact, one of the questions that we've just been asked is, does it all need planning permission? Well, the cafe element certainly will need planning permission. And they want to have a good cafe, because that's the way you get people in, and cafes can be used to generate some money to make the whole thing operate successfully. And it's a wonderful place to sit and have a coffee there and look over the views of Bath. It will be a really fabulous location to have a cup of coffee.